Hello everyone. Let's review shloka number 72 in Lalita Sahasranamam. Ramā rākenduvadanā ratirūpā ratipriyā rakśhākarī rakśhasaghnī rāmā ramaṇalampaṭā. Let's look at the meanings. Ramā means Lakshmi. Lakshmi signifies abundance, plenty. So as you may recall, we are looking at Devi in the Bija. She is the Hrim Bija, and so when we chant the Hrim Bija, what happens? We achieve the blessing of Lakshmi. That means we get abundance, we get plenty of everything that we need to live in this world. Rākenduvadanā. Indu means moon. Rākaindu means full moon. Raka is supposed to be a deity that governs over the full moon. So rākenduvadanā, vadanam means face. So she has the face of full moon. What does that mean? Full moon means completeness, right? Full moon it gives a sense of satisfaction. So when we worship the Devi with the Hrim Bija, she brings completeness into our life, a satisfaction into our life. And we have discussed this before. There are three malas that everybody has: Anava mala, Maya mala, and Karma mala. The Anava mala is an inherent sense of lack. We always feel like we are missing something. That's because we have forgotten that we are nothing but that complete divine. And the Maya makes us forget that. Because we have forgotten that, there is always a sense of limitation, and therefore we are always seeking something in order to break from that. So when we chant the Hrim mantra, then we feel completeness in our life. So we get abundance as Ramā, the Lakshmi, and we also get satisfaction and completeness such that we don't seek anymore. Ratirūpā. Rati means pleasure or delight. Ratirūpā means she is the embodiment of pleasure. Ratipriyā. Ratipriyā means she likes pleasure. So, ratirūpā and ratipriyā is the embodiment of pleasure and lover of pleasure. And you've seen this with the Lalita Sahasranamam. In Lalita Sahasranamam, we are encouraged to be mindful and enjoy every moment. This is not a path where it says, don't do this, give up this, do that, or don't do this. It's not like that. So, in the sadhana, and if you all recall, even in the Sindhura Aruna Vigraham, she has a Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotphalam Bibratim. So Alipurna Ratna Chashakam is a cup filled with honey, a jeweled cup filled with honey. On the other hand, she is holding Raktotphalam, which is a red lotus. The cup filled with honey represents worldly enjoyment. The other one with the lotus represents enlightenment. So when we follow the path of Lalita Sahasranamam, we follow the sadhana of Lalita, there is nothing that is said that you cannot do. You are allowed to enjoy the worldly things, and you can also achieve liberation. This is a path where you enjoy all these pleasures, and then you work them out of it, and then you're still able to move to liberation. So you go from a place of fullness into that liberation, as opposed to having to give up something. And there are several paths, and as long as someone reaches towards liberation. That's why this is really about enjoying every moment. It is about mindfulness. And sometimes we may think, if we are doing worldly enjoyment, then how will we get to liberation? And this is where the attachment with the detachment is very important. See, wearing a beautiful sari, wearing all the jewels, that is totally okay. Today, I have this sari, I have this jewel, and I'm wearing it and I'm enjoying it. If we stop at that, life is good. But the moment we say, oh, every day I need to wear this new sari, or I will not repeat a sari, I have to have different types of jewels, and those jewels have to be only diamond and gold, it's when we are holding on to those things. So you can see the difference. I have a beautiful sari today. I was lucky enough to have this sari. I'm wearing these jewels. Life is cool. I wore it. I was happy. I enjoyed it. If we leave it at that, life is good. It's when we hold on to it and say, oh, now I cannot do without having jewels every single time. That's when it becomes a problematic thing. So, in the path of Lalita Sadhana, pleasure is allowed as long as you know where to draw the line with the pleasure. So she is ratirūpā and ratipriyā. Rakśhākarī. Rakśhākarī means one who protects us. Raksha means protection. Rakśhākarī is one who protects us. So what does she protect us from? She protects us from our own ignorance, right? When we stray onto the wrong path, she protects us from getting there. What else does she protect us from? Rakśhasaghnī. Rakshasa, as we all know, is demons. Rakśhasaghnī, she slays all the demons and therefore protects us. What are the demons that human beings have? Human beings, anyone who has a mind, and mind is only available for human beings. For all human beings, the mind has 6 vices. This is what we say, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So our mind is prone to anger. Our mind is prone to coming up with new desires. Our mind is prone to being attached to things. Our mind is prone to being proud of what we know or what we possess. Our mind is capable of becoming greedy. Even if we have something, we want more of it. And our mind is capable of becoming jealous of other people. If we want something and we don't have it and someone else has it, then we can get jealous of it. And when I say all of it, typically we think about money, possessions, etc. But go to a step back. If we need a promotion, we are desirous of a title, somebody else has it, you may feel the jealousy towards that person. Or it's something that you always wanted to do, you wanted to dance, you wanted to be able to do painting, and somebody else has it, there is a feeling of jealousy possible. So jealousy can happen in all of those instances, even for people who are normally even-keeled when it comes to money and possessions, etc. So our mind has these vices, and these vices are our demons, because our mind keeps coming up with every new desire, and that desire becomes the root cause of all our actions. So these are all our demons, and when we constantly chant the Hrim Bija, then she slays all these demons for us, and therefore keeps our mind clean. When our mind is clean, then if you look at the Mada, Matsarya or Krodha, these are all when the gunas go out of balance, right? So either it is rajasic, where there is overactivity, or tamasic, where there is a negative energy. When all these vices are cleaned up, then our mind will be sattvic. A sattvic mind will always think clearly. When the mind thinks clearly, the buddhi is not clouded, and therefore we are able to see the reality as it is. And that is a path towards our liberation. So that's why she protects us, draws us to the right path by slaying all the demons. So, rakśhākarī, rakśhasaghnī. Rāmā, ramaṇalampaṭā. Rāmā means to delight. So, she is someone who delights us. And that is something that she loves to do. She is Vyaja Karunamurti. She is compassion. And every single day she is sitting there waiting to grant all our desires. She's Meenakshi. She's full, her eyes are full of compassion, and she's always scanning to see who needs help. So she's always waiting to delight us. And when will we absolutely feel the delight as human beings? Once one desire is fulfilled for us, we won't stop there. We will have another desire. And then we'll move on to, even if it is something exorbitant, we still will go to the next one. So even if our desires are fulfilled, they are only short-lived happiness. So when will we reach that long-lived happiness? It's when we align our desires with Devi's will. So where our ragam, the desire, is aligned with Devi's ichcha, at that time we will achieve the permanent bliss. She is capable of giving that to us, and that's why we should always meditate upon Devi, and the Hrim Bija, by meditating, gets us to that place of delightfulness, the place of bliss. Ramanalampaṭā. Ramanalampaṭā means she is devoted to Shiva. How so? Ramana means husband. Lampaṭā means to be desirous of. So she's always devoted to Shiva. What does that mean that she is devoted to Shiva? Shiva actually represents liberation. Remember, it is when everything is contained, we call it Shiva. When it manifests, we call it Shakti. So we are now in the manifested form and we are going towards that Bindu, that root cause of creation. So therefore, by worshipping Lalita in the Hrim Bija, she draws us towards that containment, towards the Bindu where everything collapses and there is that complete bliss. So, Ramā, rākenduvadanā, ratirūpā, ratipriyā, rakśhākarī, rakśhasaghnī, rāmā, ramaṇalampaṭā. So this entire shloka tells us the benefits of chanting the Hrim Bija, and her as the Hrimkari is able to grant us abundance, satisfaction, completeness in life, allow us to be experiencing each moment as it happens with joy, at the same time slays all the demons, clears our mind and takes us towards the path of liberation. So a short story regarding the Rama. So we all said Rama means Lakshmi. Lakshmi signifies abundance. So here is one avatar of Lakshmi. So once Vishnu and Lakshmi were in Vaikunta and they were relaxing. At that time, Bhrigu Munivar, the Bhrigu saint, he came, sage Bhrigu came. And sage Bhrigu was asked by Narada as to which god was deserving of all the yajnas that people were doing, the sages were doing. So sage Bhrigu couldn't answer that question. So he was on the mission to find which of the three Trimurtis were deserving of the sacrifices made by the sages. So he had already gone to Brahmaloka and he wasn't happy there. He went to Shivaloka and did not feel like Shiva was deserving. So he came to Vishnuluka. And there Vishnu was lying down on the Adisesha. Mahalakshmi was massaging his legs, sitting there. They both were chatting and they did not notice the Bhrigu Munivar coming there, sage Bhrigu coming there. Sage Bhrigu got really mad and he had already been ignored in Brahmaloka and Shivaloka, so it kind of got all together and he really got mad and he kicked Vishnu on his chest. So that is a bit difficult to imagine, but sage Bhrigu did kick Vishnu on his chest. And that immediately woke up Vishnu and he said, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, I didn't notice you coming. Please sit." And he started to massage sage Bhrigu's legs. Actually, sage Bhrigu had an eye in his foot. That was the reason for his ego, which made him go and kick Vishnu. And therefore, he squashed it. Vishnu squashed that third eye, which made his ahankara go down, sage Bhrigu's ahankara go down. And then sage Bhrigu decided Vishnu was the most deserving of all the three gods. In the meantime, Mahalakshmi was there and she was really angry with this whole scene. First of all, sage Bhrigu kicked Vishnu and he kicked Vishnu in the chest, and that's where Mahalakshmi resides. So literally it was like he kicked Mahalakshmi. And her husband, instead of defending and fighting with Bhrigu, made Bhrigu sit down and massaged his legs, and Lakshmi couldn't deal with it anymore. She got so mad and she left Vaikunta and went away to Kolhapur. And now Vishnu is really longing for Lakshmi to return. And so he comes to the Venkata hill and he's sitting there and always thinking about Lakshmi. And an ant hill forms around it and he's sitting under a tamarind tree near the Venkata hill. So now there is no Vishnu there, and then Brahma and Shiva get to know about all of this and they come in search of Vishnu. At that time they realize that he is in the ant hill and that cow and calf were actually bought by a Chola king. So every day the Chola king sent his cowherd to get them to graze. And the cowherd was always finding that the cow and calf will disappear somewhere and he was also getting chided by the queen that the cow was not yielding any milk. So one day he followed this cow to see where it went, and he realized every day it went to the anthill and it was emptying its udder there, because that's Brahma and Shiva and they know Vishnu's in there. So he was really stunned, and he took an axe to go and hit the cow, but then Vishnu got up from the anthill and stopped it, and Vishnu got hurt in the process, but the cowherd died of shock seeing Vishnu. In the meantime, the Chola king came to see, and then Vishnu cursed him, and he said, you're the reason you weren't keeping the whole thing properly. Any mistake made by your people, it belongs to you. So he cursed him. And then the Chola king really prayed to him and said, please don't do this to me. Give me some way to. And then he said, Mahalakshmi will be born in your house and you will find her. And when I marry her, your curse will go. So then in the next thing, so by then Surya goes and tells everything to Mahalakshmi. And therefore Mahalakshmi is then born as the daughter of Akasha Raja. Actually, Akasha Raja and his wife did not have any kids, and so they were praying. And one day, their priest told them that you should go and plow the field. That's what I told Dashratha to do as well. So you go plow the fields, and then you'll get a child. So he was going and plowing the fields, and he found a golden box. When they opened the golden box, there was a lotus, and in that lotus there was a baby, the most beautiful baby you could see. And because she was born on a lotus, she was called as Padmavati. So she is now in Akasha Raja's palace, and she's been raised as a princess of that particular kingdom. And she's turned into the most beautiful princess that you can see. In the meantime, Vishnu became as Srinivasa, and he was residing with Vakula Devi, and he treated her like a mother. And one day, Srinivasa was being chased by a wild elephant, and they were running, and in the process, the wild elephant led him to the palace of Padmavati, where Padmavati and her friends were all playing ball. When they saw this wild elephant come in, they all got very scared. But then once the Srinivasa came in there, the wild elephant turned, and then it did prostrate to him. And so seeing this, the princess and her friends were all very surprised. And at that time, Srinivasa saw Padmavati. He's not seen such a beautiful girl, and the moment he saw her, he fell in love with her. Same is the case for Padmavati, but her friends don't know that this is really Srinivasa and he's really Vishnu himself. So they think some bystander has run into the palace, and now he's looking at the princess. So they send him away, and they take Padmavati. And then Narada comes, and he comes to Padmavati, and he wants to see her palms. And then when he reads it, he says that you will get Vishnu himself as your husband, and the person you saw was none other than Vishnu himself. On the other hand, here Srinivasa is now lovesick, and Vakula Devi is trying to feed him. She's giving food. He's not responding to anything. He's sitting there. And then finally he tells her about how he saw this Padmavati, and he also explains to her that he's Mahavishnu. Therefore, Vakula Devi decides, now I'm going to go to the king and ask for the princess's hand. And in the meantime, the king also gets to know that the person, she's destined, Padmavati is destined to marry Vishnu. So when Vakula Devi goes and asks all the king for a hand, Vakula Devi is nobody, Srinivasa is nobody, but the king, with his priest's advice, accepts the whole thing. And therefore, Padmavati and Srinivasa's marriage is fixed. And Srinivasa wants this to be a very grand wedding. So he goes and borrows like 1 crore and several lakh coins from Kubera. And he gets Vishwakarma to construct a beautiful wedding mandapa. And that's where Padmavati and Srinivasa are married. And they live happily ever after until date. Srinivasa, Lord Venkateshwara in Tirupati, is paying the interest to Kubera for the thing that he borrowed. So this is the story of Padmavati, who's nothing but an incarnation of Lakshmi, and she is someone who blesses us with abundance. And there is no difference between Mahalakshmi and Lalita. They're all the one ultimate reality. That's all for today. Thank you.